Hello and welcome to Meghan and Harry News YouTube channel. And once again, more despicable things in the media. When it comes to the orchestrated international smear campaign against Meghan and Harry, we know it originates from the establishment, because these toxic media organisations always use people who belong to the establishment to criticise them in the articles and videos. People who are usually decorated with honours from the establishment, such as OBE, Order of the British Empire, or MBE, or have the titles of Lords or Sir. These are open declarations of being part of the ruling establishment, at which the royal family is the head of. We've also seen them use former army officers, who of course are also very much attached to the establishment. Here is a new one that they have brought in to slag off Harry's new Netflix show about Invictus. And it just goes to show how the media and these channels like GB News and Talk TV and newspapers such as the Daily Mail, Telegraph, the Mirror, the Sun are all just extensions of the establishment used for propaganda. Here we see ex-British Army officer dismisses Prince Harry's Heart of Invictus claims. It says here, a former British Army officer has criticised Prince Harry after the premiere of the Heart of Invictus series on Netflix. Colonel Richard Justin Kemp is a retired British Army officer who served from 1977 to 2006. Among his assignments were the command of Operation Fingol in Afghanistan from July to November 2000. I would really question what stress he was under during his tenure of service in Afghanistan, he said in the description of his YouTube video on the Netflix series. So this man is questioning why would Harry be under stress under his tenure of service in Afghanistan? Well, I would imagine being at war and serving in the military and being in a position where you may have to kill people and where you also might get killed yourself is stressful. Of course it's stressful, it would be stressful for anyone in that situation. How could it not be? But this army officer is questioning this. What a stupid comment that is. So it's not off to a good start for this interview. Kemp said he is not interested in rehabilitating Prince Harry's image and questioned how serious Harry's PTSD would be after what the Duke of Sussex actually did in Afghanistan. Well, Harry has stated that he killed 25 people in Afghanistan. Now, putting aside arguments about governments, armies and wars and what is right and what is wrong in these situations, let's just look at this situation as it is today. What is done is done. Now, the fact of knowing that you have done something like this, killing other people, must be something that would weigh heavily on you. It's something someone would have to live with. It would play on your conscience. It's going to damage you psychologically to a certain extent. If you weren't affected from doing something like that, then you should be worried. Of course, that's going to have an impact on your mental health. But this army officer also questions that as well, that Harry shouldn't be affected by what he and others did in Afghanistan. It continues, Colonel Kemp said what Harry was doing was fighting a very, very remote distance, not the kind of thing in my view that would result in serious stress and PTSD. One of the main criticisms directed at Prince Harry is his perceived shift towards a woke agenda. Colonel Kemp accused Harry of turning on his own family and exploiting his own service for personal gain. And there we go again with the woke term, whatever that means now. And then Colonel Kemp starts bringing up how Harry has turned on his family. If this colonel was for real, shouldn't he just be focusing on the army and not poking his nose into the matters of the royal family and Harry's relationship? It's as if he has been instructed to put that bit in. It continues, Kemp highlighted Harry's comments about killing Taliban members in his memoir and his statement about treating them as subhuman, suggesting that these remarks cater to a woke narrative rather than accurately representing the military experience. According to Kemp, these actions have led to Harry being treated with suspicion and reduced affection in the armed forces. Well, it seems that if you kill people in the army, then you're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to question how one gets into a situation where you end up killing people you don't know on the orders of the establishment. You're not supposed to question why you're taught to treat these people as subhuman. The reason army personnel are indoctrinated to treat the enemy as subhuman is that you carry out the tasks that you wouldn't normally do. Tasks like killing people, which would never be acceptable under any other circumstance. But of course, questioning this is termed as woke. Let me know your opinions in the comments. Harry has done an interview and revealed more about what happened to him after his service in the army and how he was treated after the death of his mother. And once again, it reveals the staggering coldness of the firm. Harry has revealed much while discussing the royal family and his own mental health journey in his new Netflix documentary, Heart of Invictus. Harry, who speaks candidly throughout the 5-part episode, discussed the impact of losing his mother, Princess Diana, at a young age, and the effect touring Afghanistan had on him when he admitted that he didn't have the support network around to help. It sounds very similar to the lack of care the firm showed towards Meghan when she was a member of the firm. Harry reveals that the hardest thing at these times was the lack of support. He said, "The biggest struggle for me was the people," he began, adding, "No one around me could really help. I didn't have that support structure, that network, or that expert advice to identify what was really going on with me." He then talked about the moment he realised he needed professional help with his mental health. Unfortunately, like me, the first time you really consider therapy is when you're lying on the floor in the fetal position, probably wishing that you'd dealt with some of this stuff previously, and that's what I really want to change. Earlier on in the documentary, Harry then opened up about his tour of Afghanistan and what impact that had. "My tour of Afghanistan in 2012, flying Apache somewhere, after that there was an unravelling, and the trigger to me was actually returning from Afghanistan, but the stuff that was coming up was from 1997, from the age of 12. He added, "Losing my mum at such a young age, the trauma that I had, I was never really aware of it, was never discussed, it was suppressed. I never really spoke about it like most youngsters would have done. But then when it all came fizzing out, I was buzzing off the walls, I was feeling everything rather than being numb." Harry also made an appearance at a cinema Netflix planned us screeners for this week that Archwell partnered on. Harry wanted to surprise the audience and spend time with veterans in San Diego. Harry told the audience, "Tonight you guys get to see Heart of Invictus, which has been the last 2 years in the making, sooner than anybody else, so it will be coming out on Wednesday. You guys get to watch it tonight, or at least 2 episodes to whet the appetite for the rest of it." The toxic media are of course saying how Harry is once again attacking the firm, when we all know that all the problems stem from them and the way they carry on, and the international orchestrated smear campaign that has been launched against them. Let us know your opinions in the comments below.